You can see it's going to be a step bench if you have it. A ball, this is about a 6 or 7 inch ball. You could use a ball or you could use just some socks that are balled up together. Or you could use nothing, it's really okay. And then we'll also use an elastic band. So all the exercises can be done with or without equipment. We're going to start doing 3 different things standing. We're going to start with some stretch and balance. Then we'll go to our bench, and then we'll go to our impacts, which are just on the floor. So I want to welcome everybody. I know we have a few new people. Welcome to all of you. I'll try to give some good explanation. First of all, can people let me know, can you hear me okay? How's the hearing? A thumbs up if you can hear okay. All right. And I just want to verify, you couldn't hear the music at all?
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, that gives me an idea about the rest of the class. Okay, so let's go ahead. So we're going to start with some stretching. Let's go ahead, feet hip width apart. Make sure you have some clear space around you. And we're going to bend both knees and slide your fingertips down towards your knees. And the way to think of your back is flat. The shoulders are not forward, but the shoulders stay back. So you're wide through the collarbones. And then we want to pull in the belly, curl up, and look towards your lap. And then we contract the back and arch and gaze forward slightly. Pull in the belly and curl up. We're warming up the back. And then hands elbows are straight. Hands are lightly touching the knees. And we're going to arch and look forward. And as you look forward, you feel that's very muscular. Let's bring one arm out. Okay, forward and a little up. We'll bring the other arm out. And then shift your hips forward. We'll go to the toes. And then down. Circle the shoulders back. And then let's take in a deep breath. We're going to bend the knees in it again. Bring the fingertips to the knees. And we're going to repeat that. It's a great trunk strengthener as well as mobilizer. Let's pull the belly in and curl. Use the back muscles to arch and stick your seat out. Pull the belly in and curl. Use the back muscles, arch, stick your seat out. Belly still pulled in. Urinary muscles pulling up and in. Let's take both hands out and then drive the hips forward and up to the toes and then down. Let's take a breath in, squeeze your seat, a breath out. Okay, let's do a little heel toe tap. Widen the shoulders and foot in and the other side. And as you do this, you're having to work on balancing on one leg while we work on that ankle flexibility and coordination on the other side. And we'll bring that in. We're going to bend the knees and go to the toes. We're going to do that 4 or 5 times. As you do this, think of firm ankles. Weight towards your first and second toe. When you come up, it's actually on the ball of the foot, but you want the weight toward the ball of the foot, the inner side. Firm ankles. Tricky at first. An ankle strengthener and a calf strengthener. And when we bend the knees, let's nudge, it's a calf stretch. Okay. Now, if you don't have a chair already, there's always one thing we use in class is a chair. And this is to help for stabilization, especially when you're doing the exercises at first, where you don't know exactly what to expect or how your body's going to respond. We want to do more calf stretching. So I'm standing to the side of the chair. I'm going to step forward a little bit where I can still touch the chair, and I'm going to step back with one leg. I'm going to keep that back knee straight and plant my heel on the ground. Then I'm going to bend the front knee. So the front knee is bent. I keep my back heel planted, and I'm going to nudge with the front knee. Now I may not need the chair, or I might need it. One thing about using the chair, think of just using one finger if you can, rather than a firm grip, but one finger if you can get away with it. Now what we'd like to do is switch. This first time, let's step forward, step back, remembering the back leg, knee straight, heel planted. And then we nudge the front knee. I'm keeping my shoulders back over my hips so I can really get that stretch in the back calf. Now this time, if you want, you can jump to switch or step like we did. If you're stepping, you step the back leg forward. An option is to jump. Straighten the back leg, plant the back heel, and nudge. And we're going to switch again. If you're stepping, it's the front leg steps forward. Or the back leg, sorry. Plant the heel, straighten the back knee, and nudge. Okay, and then let's just step together for that stretch. A breath in, out. We're going to do a little stretch with the breath. For this, let's stand behind the chair, because you may need the chair for balance. I'll stand where you can see me, but if you stand right behind your chair, you can have one finger on the chair. We're going to do a half of a jumping jack, and we'll go to the other side. So you could be switching which hand is on the chair if you need some help at first. So balance is like strength. It improves with practice. For strength, it takes about 3 months to double your strength. With balance, I'd say it takes about 3 months to significantly improve your balance. And we work at it by going on one leg with this exercise. Anything that makes you a little wobbly but doesn't cause you to lose your balance is good practice. Let's take a breath in and out. So those things that cause your ankles to kind of wobble and where you really have to put in some effort are good for building your balance. Okay, we're going to try a few things where we do some eyes closed and eyes open. And for these, you want to be at the side of the chair. Let's try some slow knee lifts. So these are very good for balance. So over the first 4 or 5 times, you work on that ability to give it a little pause and that slow return to the ground. So it's about coordination and control. That's where you're building balance. Okay, we're going to speed it up a little. Chairs there if you need it. Try closing your eyes for 3 or 4 steps. Still trying to lower the foot gently. That's the hard part. That being in control. You could have a finger on the chair if you need, and then open. Let's take a breath in and a breath out. And circle back Okay. We'll do a stretch here. Chair's there if you need it. We're gonna lift one knee, grab, and give a pull. Coming down, we'll lift the other knee. And you could use this hand if you're on the chair. You could use this hand and down. All of this meant to be a challenge where you can touch a chair and recover if you need to. And then lift, a pull, and down. Okay, now we're going to go to the bench. Let's first take a breath in. All these breaths are important. We're using all these large muscles of the body and they demand oxygen. So be sure to breathe with me so you have enough oxygen for your muscles. For the bench, see me okay. We're going to use the chair sideways to the bench where you can touch it with your hand. If you're wondering about this bench, this is, I'm borrowing this bench. It's smaller than the standard bench. And I do recommend the longer bench rather than the kind of mini bench that I borrowed. Make sure you can see that okay. So I have my chair sideways here. So we're gonna start by standing on the bench. If you don't have a bench, you just stand next to your chair. You don't have to have a bench for this. We're gonna tap a knee and then come down in front of the bench. Then we're gonna reverse, tap the knee and step behind the bench. So this is a balance exercise, but also strength in that front thigh and hip. So that tap, step, tap, step, tap, step, tap, step. One more time, tap to the front, tap to the back. Now we're going to turn this into a back lunge. I'll turn a little so you can see me. Now we're turning this into a back lunge, so we're going to take a step back. Now with a back lunge, we bend both knees. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring this back knee up. Watch me the first time. A tap and back to the lunge. And the tap and back to the lunge. So your chair's there in case you need it. Balance, and it's a lot of strength. Let's try it 4 times. Tap, back to the lunge. And in the lunge, I'm on the ball of my back foot. A tap, back to the lunge. Tap, and back. Tap, and back. Looking to improve. It's quite a challenging exercise. And then let's come back to the bench. Now we're going to step the other leg forward and back. Good idea. Move your chair to the other side. Okay. And this is the tap of the knee. Step forward, a tap of the knee, a step back. A tap and step, a tap and step. As I do this, I am thinking of my back being straight. I'm using my back muscles and stomach muscles to stabilize my trunk. I have my urinary muscles contracted. I'm gonna do this one more time, that tap and step, and the tap, step back. And now I'm gonna change this into a back lunge. Over this, step back further on the ball of the foot, bend both knees, my chair's there so I can reach it. I'm gonna try to bring that back knee forward and touch it. And back to the lunge. And then a touch, step back, a touch, step back. So, and kind of watching for the trunk to move back. So you don't want to lean forward, but keeping the trunk upright if you can. That touch, reach back, a touch, reach back. Okay, let's come back to the bench. And the little step off. Let's take a breath in, and a breath out, and a breath in, and a breath out, and circle back. Whether you have a bench or not, that lunging with bringing the knee forward is a good workout, and all of those count toward our lunges, which our goal is 15 lunges a day. So that was 8 lunges right there. We're gonna get our bands now and do some exercises where if you have a bench, use the bench. Now you could do these without the band if you really need to keep a hand on the bench. I'll show you what we're gonna do is we're gonna, let's just practice first. We're gonna step with the knee lift and back together. Step, knee lift, back together. Don't need a bench for this. The bench will give you a little more hip strengthening. Step, knee lift, back together. Step, knee lift, back together. Now, if you have a band, let's practice. Hands about 6 inches apart. Bring both hands to the center of your chest. With the knee lift, you're going to push up. So the arm and the knee are both going up on the same side. Okay, and then if you're ready for more challenge, you want to use the bench and the band, it would look like this. A step, knee lift, back, together, a step, knee lift, back, together, so that the knee lift, push up, back, together, knee lift, push up, back, together. Okay, I see a lot of people have joined in with that. I know it's a challenge. Let's try it all together 2 more times. That step, knee lift, and back together. A step up, a knee lift, and back together. Okay, stepping back a little so you don't hit your chair. We're going to hold on, and we're going to just do a big circle, breathing in and out. Feel those shoulders really swiveling in the shoulder joint. To breath in and out. Okay, so a little more advanced. If you want, we'll kick to the side. And for that, you want your chair in front of your bench so your hands could go to the chair. I'm going to move the chair so you can see me, but you keep your chair in front. And here's to think about what you want to do. You can do this with or without the bench. Step, we're going to do side, back, together, a step, a side kick as you move the band. So step, side kick, back, together, a step, side kick, back, together. So let's try 4 of those. You could always do that with no band. So you could have your hand on the chair for the side kick. Right now, we're a little more interested in the hip strengthening than the arm. But if you can do them both, that's great too. So step, side, back, together, working on control, side, back, together, a step, side, down, together, step, side, down, together. Great work on that. Great work. Okay, let's take the band, and again, a big circle, a breath in, a breath out. So stretching the ribs, stretching the belly, rotating the shoulders, a breath in, a breath out. Okay, we're going to set the bands aside. And we're going to get ready now for our impacts. So, your bench out of the way. We're going to start with the heel and toe, heel, toe, other leg, heel, straighten up, lift the heart. We're going to down, up, and down, and up, down, and up. And we're going to pedal. If you want, try this with your eyes closed. And open. Maybe closed again. And open. And we can, if you can jog, we'll transition to a little jog. And we're trying to get force into the hips. And the jog is a good way of doing that. If you lift your knees, you get more use of the muscles. And we're going to a stomp. Flat-footed. You feel the force in the heel. Now we're going to change it. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Another change. Back to, we're going to go sideways. Keep that straight back, belly in. Your muscles contracted. Back. Now, another move. Toes and heels. So urinary muscle firmly contracted, and we thump on the heels. Let's try stomp, 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 stomp. Stomp, 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 stomp. If you want to do a jump, you can change to that. So our goal is to get at least 100 impacts in each leg. So a jump counts for an impact in both legs. The stomp is 1, and then this is 1. So keeping that in mind. So if you are working with osteoporosis 5 days a week, you need to get at least 100 impacts up to 150 to make a difference in the bone density. Let's take a breath in, a breath out. Let's come where we can feel the chair. Along with those impacts comes the need to keep the hip mobile. So we're going to stand on one leg and bend the knee of the other leg and then just swing the leg back and forward. Now, you may need a finger on the chair. You may be able at times to take your hand off the chair. What you want to feel is that loose swivel in the hip. And we'll go to the other side, that lifting and bending. So this is a bent knee type of move. Chair is there if you need it. It's okay to wave your arms around. Loosening in the hip. And we'll bring that foot down. And then a little work on the knees. We will go to that toes out, knees out. Widening, widening, because there's also, you get this advantage of a hip stretch. As you do it, think of your shoulders being still back over your hips. The body will want to stick the seat out, but here, we don't really want to. And we'll straighten one knee and just a little impulse. Anytime you fully straighten the knee, stretches the joint capsule and stimulates joint fluid. So I'm just trying to revive the knee and impulse. Okay, step back together. We're going to do a backward arm circle with the breath. Lead with your thumb. Change, lead with your little finger. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, and then we're going to come to the front edge of the chair. So we're done with the bench. While we're sitting in the chair, we'll use the band a little bit, and we'll be using the ball. So you want your ball nearby. I'm going to put it under the chair where I can get to it. Making sure you've got space around you. You come to the front edge of the chair. And another part of working on bone density, balance, and leg strength is this squat to the chair that we use in Better Bones and Balance. So you get your feet hip width apart. We're going to stand where you can feel the chair behind your knees. We're going to stick the seat out. We're still thinking of a flat back. Pull the belly in and contract the urinary muscles, like you're trying to stop urination. And just touch your chair, maybe check to make sure the chair is behind you because it's a little insecure feeling. And then we're going to slowly lower. You can keep your hands on the chair. You can put your hands on your knees, or you can go with no hands, depending on what feels stable to you. And we're going to slowly lower to the chair. Making sure your feet are flat and your knees also stay separated. We'll come part way up. There, I see it, I see it. Pull the belly in. We're going to bring one arm out, one arm back. Feel for the back and stomach strengthening. And then we'll do a slow switch. Slow switch, really feeling for the stomach, the back, keeping the urinary muscles engaged in that switch. Let's bring both hands up. Feel how the back is working. Check your chair. And we're going to slowly sit. We'll bring the arms down. And a breath in and a breath out. So now that we're sitting, if people could lower their screen a little bit. I see arms waving and heads, but I don't necessarily see bodies. Thank you. Yeah, that helps. Sometimes I don't know if my instructions have worked or not. Okay, all right, let's go ahead. Stretch forward with the hips. Let's reach forward. And then let's bring the arms back. Think of stretching your back, that reach, and arms back. I'm pulling my elbows back, stretching the chest now, and reach and back. Now I'm going to either bring my hands here to the corners of the chair to stand again, or on the top of my knees. And I'm going to lean forward now that I'm kind of flexible. And I'm going to come up slowly and lift all the way up. Okay, now let's take the word Oregon. Let's spell the word Oregon as we slowly sit. So bend your knees so your fingertips touch. So you come partway to your chair. Make sure your chair's there. And let's slowly, everybody. So the idea now is also working on your lip and tongue muscles loudly. O-R-E-G-O, and a light touch. Okay. And then slowly back up. So these squats, if you're new, you're wondering, how many of these are we going to do? We're probably around 10. It's just a great exercise. We're going to bend the knees, fingertips coming down, belly in. Feel those back and belly muscles as we hold and move the arms. If your belly is contracted tightly, usually there's no problem with the back. We're going to touch. Now let's spell Oregon backwards as we slowly sit. So, N-O-T-E, loud, R. O. I can hear a few people before.
Oh,
Let's take a breath in and a breath out. And then another way to approach this, to come part way up, touch, make sure your chair is there, and just do some short up and downs to finish up. Belly in, so your back doesn't get bothered. So let's try a little short up and down. Okay, and very slowly down now. Building that strength and control. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's take a breath in. We'll separate the legs. A breath out. And then we're going to do a back stretch. From here, shift if you need to. We're going to lean forward at the hips. So this is hip flexion. The back is still flat. Really stretching in the hips. The sacroiliac joints feel usually a nice stretch. And from here, to stretch the spine, we're going to curl up, look towards your lap, and unroll. And we'll do it again. Wide shoulders, flat back, leaning down, and then curling up and unrolling. And then go ahead and grab your ball if you have one. You don't actually have to have anything. The ball is just kind of to make it interesting. Scooch a little forward on your chair. And we're going to jump the legs in. Okay. We're going to now work on the upper body and the back mostly. We're going to push up and in. Push up. And we jump out. And also in a controlled way with a straight back, graceful, slow. Slow takes more strength and more coordination. I'm kind of getting a little out of breath with that. We're going to bring the ball forward, straighten the back, pull in the belly. Let's tighten the seat. You may have to shift so you can tighten your seat muscles. And then squeeze the urinary muscles. And then let's move in the shoulder one arm at a time. And the other side. And then we're going to bring the ball into the chest and then fully straighten the arms. So this, bring attention to your elbows. You want the elbows to fully straighten the chest. Fully straighten seat, check in with the seat, check in with the stomach muscles. In and out, in and out. And then we're going to leave that out. Fingertips are on the sides of the ball, or you could have your hands touching each other. We're going to twist. We're going to feel this twist. Wrist, fingers, elbows, shoulders. That twist. We're going to bring the ball overhead, and we're going to separate the knees. And now we're going to lean over and touch the toes. Flexibility going down. Let your head fall towards your knee. We're trying to fully fold over that leg. And then just stay folded, reach out, use your back muscles to lift you up. So a strengthener coming up, going down for the flexibility. Reach out, and the strengthener coming up. We'll do each side again. Over to the toe. Reach out to the strengthener. Over. Now while we're here, set your ball on the inside of your foot right there on the floor. Then reach out again and lift for your back. We'll bring the hands down. And we're going to do a quickness and coordination movement for the feet, where we're going to try kicking this back and forth as you kind of balance on your seat, trying to kick the ball from foot to foot. Say you don't have a ball, just try lifting your feet and making a kicking motion, and you really, because it really works on your hips and your core also. And then we're going to trap the ball between our feet. Bring it in closer. So now my knees are bent at 90 degrees. My knees are separated about as far as my feet. I'm going to reach back, hold the chair. My shoulders can be back, elbows go back. So not out, but back. Get my shoulders in a good position. Now I'm going to do a little jump to the one side and the other. And you certainly don't need the ball for this. You want to feel this in your clenched belly. Back and forth, back and forth. A good lower trunk thigh strengthener. Okay, do the front. Let's go ahead, reach, stretch your back. And come back up. One more back stretch. That reach, stretch, and back up. Now we're going to scoop the hips way to the front edge of the chair. Bring your feet forward a little. We're going to cross the hands here. Clench your belly like someone is about to hit you in the stomach. So if you feel your belly, it feels extra firm. And then we're going to do the sit back. So your shoulder blades touch the chair and the sit up. For this is another one of those slow, coordinated exercises. We're trying to maintain tension on the stomach muscles by keeping that clench as we slowly go back and lift, never letting the stomach muscles relax. And then we're going to go back and we'll stay there. And then grab your chair. We're going to straighten both knees and bring your heels to the ground. Okay. And we're going to do some leg lift type movement. So here's some instructions. So one thing, if you're new to class, sometimes it causes neck strain. If you feel your neck strain, first thing is to let your chin drop. Kind of wobble your head and bring some focus to keeping the neck muscles relaxed. If that's not enough, you can scooch back in the chair a little bit so you're not leaning. Definitely take some of the strain off of your neck. But so the idea though is to kind of be a straight line from your heels to your shoulders. Your hips are fairly straight. Relax the neck. We're gonna breathe in and let the belly expand. So in through the nose, belly expands. Out through the mouth as you compress your belly. And lift your feet 4 inches. Hold. Relax the neck. Be sure to breathe. And slowly lower. Let's do that one more time. In through the nose, belly expands. Out through the mouth, compress your belly. And then lift. Hold, relax the neck. Let's see if we can pedal in the ankles, one and then the other. Working on that full ankle movement. And if you have a ball, while you're holding that ball. Okay, and then slowly lower. Let's go ahead. I'm going to bend the knees. We're going to get rid of the ball for a while. So the ball can go back under your chair. Let the ball get out of the way. And we're working a little flexibility. I'm still leaning back in the chair. I'm going to, again, clench my belly muscles, pull in the urinary muscles. I'm going to lift a knee. I'm going to grab and let my head fall forward, stretching the hip, bending the knee, neck relaxing. Then look forward. We're going to bring the hands behind the knee, right in the crease of the knee. And we're going to straighten the knee all the way. Your other foot stays on the ground with the knee right over the foot. So no sprawl, but controlled as a good base of support. Okay, now contract your belly. And we're going to slowly lower that leg. We're going to bend, straighten, slowly lower. Keeping that clenched belly. Think of a relaxed neck as you're bicycling this one leg to strengthen your thigh and your abdominal muscle. Bring it down and let's go to the other leg. We'll start with that stretch and the pull. Think of your other foot on the ground with the knee right above it as some support for you. Transfer your hands behind the crease of the knee. And then try to straighten. And this is the stretch mostly. And then keeping your leg up, we're going to remove the hands as you clench the belly. Slowly lower. Bend the knee, straighten, slowly lower. So getting that leg as high as you can and straighten your knee. Bicycling that leg, shake the head to relax the neck, and we'll bring it down. Let's cross the hands here. At this point, straighten the back, clench the belly, and give a lift. You can bring the arms out, legs out, maybe scooch back a little on your chair. We're going to hug each leg, leaning over, a hug. Arms out, a lift, over the other side, lean, and a hug, arms out, and a lift. From here, a breath in. As you breathe out through the mouth, bring the knees together. Circle the shoulders back to relax the neck. We're going to bring the hands to the knees and maybe scooch back an inch on your chair. You want your feet to be flat on the floor. Okay. We're going to do some movements for the arms and the back before we go to our lunges and work with the bands. So follow me, touch, reach to the knee. Shoulder, reach across, float to the knee. With your hands on the knees, give a push, straighten the elbows to straighten the back. Okay, so, and then use your stomach muscles the urinary muscles pulling up and your back muscles to hold your trunk in this position. Remember to keep your chin not exactly lowered, but don't let your chin go up. It'll cause a lot of neck strain. Keep your chin more or less parallel to the ground. Belly in, urinary muscles contracted, nice and controlled, touch, reach across to the knee. And this is a floating movement, very controlled. Now, as you reach across, think of stretching the back of your shoulder down, attach, stretch, and down. Let's bring both hands up. Let's touch the elbows. Think of stretching between your shoulder blades and the back of your shoulders. Press those elbows together, squeeze your stomach, coming out. Press the elbows back for a stretch. Let's bring them in for a squeeze, really feeling across the shoulders. Out for a stretch. And then we're going to straighten and extend the wrist. Feel the stretch in your elbow and your wrist. Rotate the hands up. Rotate them back down. This is the rotation in the shoulder joint. Rotate up and down. So I'm thinking of preparing the arms and the shoulders for using the bands. Hands forward, belly in, urinary muscles reinforced. We're going to bend and twist. So bend the elbows and twist, look back. Try to follow that back elbow with your eyes. Look back and forward, back and forward. So this is, feel a lot of it in your belly, getting that twist and forward, and we're going to change it. Now, belly contracted, urinary muscles firmly contracted. We're going to twist to the side with the arms up here. Really using the muscles in the belly area to get that twist. And we're going to go sideways and impulse, center, sideways and impulse to the center, over and impulse to the center, working on core, impulse to the center. Let's go ahead, let's go feet wide, overhead, reach, touch your toes, reach out and up, over to the toe, reach out and up. This time, let's go to the center, to the floor, and bring your hands between your feet and let yourself dangle. Let your head relax like it weighs 100 pounds, just dangling toward the floor. Okay, now we're going to walk the hands forward. Follow your hands with your eyes. And then we're going to slowly walk up an imaginary ladder. Follow your hands with your eyes. And then just look forward as your arms go the rest of the way up. And it's for a back strengthener. And we'll bring them down. Circle back. Okay. We're going to bring the legs in. Bring the elbows in. Okay. Let's bring the shoulders up and down, and then keeping the shoulders down, reinforce your stomach. Go back to adding your seat muscles and the urinary muscles, and then let's go out and in. Warming up the rotator muscles of the shoulders, out, in. Keep all of those muscles, seat, belly, urinary muscles reinforced. We're going out to the side. We're going to do a lean, lean. Back to a core and back strengthener. A lean, lean, and a lean, and lean. And in. And we're going to do a twist with a knee lift. So you lift and twist toward that knee. Bring the elbow in that direction, but you don't really want to touch. Twist and lift. You're getting the stomach muscles by twisting from above and twisting from below. Twist. Twist. And we'll bring those down. We're going to go over. Reach up, really stretch your rib cage. Other way, really stretch the rib cage. Getting ready for a deep breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Let your head fall forward, but back is straight, just the head. And give a shake to relax the neck. Okay, now we want to get our bands. Want the balls out of the way, and you want your shoes on or to be on a surface where you will not slip.
Look at my ball. My ball is covered. You had to roll them back and forth. Mine would not roll. I had the weights on them sitting in that basket. I gotta remember not to do that, although this may be a goner.
Okay, so all of these exercises can be modified. The most common ways to modify are if you have a shoulder problem, to not use the band. As far as lunges go, that can be a thing that's hard for the knees or the hips. We've already done quite a few today. So you can modify your lunge by doing a small lunge. When I'm doing a bigger lunge, you could do a small lunge, or you can just squat and do the same exercise, either with or without a band. So all of these are good for the hips, for balance, for general upper body strength, as well as lower body strength. Okay, so we have these bands. We're going to separate the hands. Let's take a breath in and a breath out. And we're going to start with a forward lunge, which you could do a small or big lunge or a squat. I'm going to demonstrate the arm movement first. So we want to have the forearms parallel to the ground, the elbows bent 90 degrees. Shoulders are lowered, so we can practice that. Let's raise the shoulders and then lower the shoulders. We're gonna bring this up, and then we're gonna straighten the arms, and you pull the hands apart a little bit. We're gonna bend the elbows and go forward again. So it's up, straighten, bend, and forwards. It's like 4 counts to that. So up, straight elbows, kind of pulling out to a Y, down and forwards. This is for 2 sets of muscles, the rotator cuff and the lumbar. So 3 triceps and tissimus. So with that, let's bring our arms down. We'll be next to the chair, and you stand a little behind your chair so you have room to do the forward lunge. The forward lunge is you step forward to a flat foot. You come on the ball of your back foot, and then you bend to both knees. The shoulders are back over the hips. There's no lean forward with this. Shoulders back over the hips. And you check to make sure you see your front toes. So you have to look down. You can put a hand on the chair if you need to for that. Because you don't want the knee hiding your toes. That means your knee is bent too much. You'll be putting stress on your knee. Okay, so if you're doing this, So the lunge is nice. We'll take a few impulses. So these are an important move for bone density of the hip. Okay, we're gonna just elbows in, elbows out. Let's bring this down. And then let's go up, straighten, bend, forward one more time, up, straighten, bend, and then as we go forward, we can step that leg back. And we'll go to the other side, that flat foot forward. Come on the ball of your back foot, shoulders back over the hips, so you're looking straight ahead. Let's bring that forward, elbows wide, let's go that way, straighten, bend, forward, down. I'm thinking of my belly. Now that I've kind of got the hang of this, I remember my belly, remember my urinary muscles. Up, straighten, bend, and now I'm going to step back, step forward on the other leg, bend both knees, check for my front foot, a quick glance down, up, straighten, bend, forward, up, straighten, bend, stepping back, and stepping forward, ball of the foot, and I start elbows wide, hands to the front. Few nudges, check my front knee, getting my back straight, shoulders back over my hips. Up, straighten, down, forward, up, straighten, down, and stepping back. Okay. Let's go ahead, do a little circle for the shoulders, a breath in and out, and a breath in and out. Okay, we're gonna bring the band under the front foot. So I'm stepping forward a little, gonna do a back lunge. So I'm now at the front corner of the chair. I'm going to put the band under the arch of my foot. Just remember with this, we're going to lunge back. You can always reach out and touch your chair if you need to. You still have a tension in the band. We're going to work on the bicep. Got a little bit of a tail, not much, but I'm going to do a back lunge. So it's to the ball of the foot, stepping back. And then I get my form, which is shoulders are back. So I'm pretty straight from the hips to the shoulders, no leaning forward. I'm going to bring my elbows in. I might check that I see my toe. Elbows in. I'm going to bring my thumbs to my shoulders and slowly lower. Do that twice. Up. Down, and I'm going to step forward, and then I'm going to do the same leg back again. Ball of the foot, get positioned for my back lunge. Do use the belly muscles. Do use the urinary muscles. My elbows stay in, elbows right at your sides. Okay, I'm going to step forward. I'm going to switch to my other foot. Band under the arch. The ball of the foot, stepping back. One moment. Okay. Elbows in. And up. So with these, also slow and careful is better. Forward, getting to our last exercise here, foot back. Trying to keep the muscle always under tension. with that slow movement. So there's always that tautness in the band, and we can step forward and we'll bring that out. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's loosen in the knees and the hips. We'll bring the hands here. We'll do a hula hoop type movement where you use your knees and your hips. Move around, and let's do the other side, other direction. Doing that little bit of rotation in the hips and knees. Okay, and we'll give a little shake out of each leg. And then getting ready for our 5 deep, vigorous breaths to finish class. Making sure you have room for your arms. Moving equipment if you need to. So we get the feet at least hip width apart. 50% contractions, feet, belly, and urinary muscles pulling up and in. Palms forward, reach back. And we'll go in through the nose and out through the mouth, deep and vigorous. Circle the shoulders back to relax the neck.